Hi everyone! Today I'll be discussing the app Win the White House. This interactive game is from iCivics, a nonprofit organization. This organization dedicates its time to reinvigorating civic learning by creating interactive, engaging, and educational resources that empower teachers and prepare the next generation to become knowledgeable, engaged citizens. With this ongoing presidential campaign, I thought it would be beneficial for students to play this game so that they could get a better understanding of what's going on in the news and just really know what's going on in the world around them. It's pretty known that kids learn best when they can take information that they've learned and apply it. And they can especially do that in this game because when the White House allows them to run and hopefully win their own presidential campaign by picking issues to support or defend, polling, running campaigns, running media ads, things like that. So I'm really excited for you guys to see it, so let's get started. As you can see here, I'm on my iPad homepage, and there are two ways that you can download this app, but really quick, I want to show you the longer version, and that involves going to Safari. So first, I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to go to my Safari app. Now, this is my Safari home screen, and I am just going to go up to my search bar here, and I'm going to type in icivics.org. Make sure you put .org and not .com. Since it is a nonprofit organization. So here is their homepage, and like I said earlier, they are just dedicated to giving teachers materials to teach kids about civics and their civic duties and things like that. So first you have your play tab, which I just clicked on up here at the top, and it really just shows you all the different games that you can have kids play, things like that. And it also gives you the playtime. And so it has Do I Have a Right, Immigration Nation, Executive Command, things like that. And at the very bottom, we see Win the White House. And it says the playtime is about 30 to plus minutes. So just be prepared for that. This is a lengthier game. They also have the Teach tab up at the top. Here on this Teach tab, they just give teachers a lot of resources that they can help create lesson plans, things like that. So curriculum units, lesson plans, drafting boards, things like that. And then also if you want to learn more about them, donate or shop, you can definitely go to those tabs back up there at the top. But I'm going to go back to play, and I'm going to push right here where it says Win the White House, and I'm going to push Play Game. And here is where you'll click either Get It on Google Play if you have an Android device or Get It on iTunes if you have an iPad. Since I have an iPad, I'm going to click Get It on iTunes. Now, once I click Get It on iTunes, it's going to kick me out of Safari and it's going to open this screen here in the App Store. When you see this screen, you're going to first click Download. Now, the app's not going to cost you anything, so you don't have to worry about that. The only thing it may ask you for is to input your username and ID for iTunes. Once you do that, then you're just going to click Open. The second way that you can download this game is going directly through the App Store. So you can click on the App Store right here. And once your iTunes App Store homepage opens, then you will just go directly up here to your search bar and type in Win the White House. And then click on Win the White House suggestion right here. Win the White House should be the first one to pop up in your search results, so you'll just want to click on it. And it will show the same pages before that you went through with the Safari page, so you'll just want to push download and insert your Apple ID password, and then it should download, and once it does that, then just click open, and it'll take you straight to the app. Once the app is open and loaded, it will bring you to your login page, and if you have an iCivics account, you can click login right here. It will just send you to the login to iCivics page where you can put your username or email or your password and then push continue. However, since I don't have an iCivics page, I'm just going to go ahead and click cancel. After I click cancel, it'll send me right back to the same login page, and I'm just going to push no thanks. After it's loaded, it's going to send me to the home page here, and if you played the game before, it's going to ask you if you want to continue, or you can simply just push new game right here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click new game. However, if you were playing a game previously, it's going to ask you if you want to erase the data and start a new game over, and just simply click yes, and it's pretty simple. Next, it will ask you to select your grade level. This really just depends on what grade level you're teaching at that time. If you're teaching high school, definitely pick that option, but since I'm an elementary education major, I'm going to go ahead and click elementary school, and then come down here and click continue. After you selected your grade level, it's going to introduce you to your campaign manager, Inez. She's going to come up numerous times throughout your game, just really helping you out, telling you what you're doing right or doing wrong, giving you tips, and she'll also give you inspirational quotes from past presidents multiple times throughout the game, so that's really nice too. So you're just going to read what she says here, and then you're going to click continue. Now, before we can start our actual presidential campaign, we have to make a candidate, right? So here's where you're going to do it. You're going to create your candidate's profile. You're going to create a character, issues, and then create a campaign kit. First, we're going to start out with character here. So just go ahead and click character. Here on this page is where you're going to choose your candidate's appearance and make a name for them. So there are two ways that you can go about this. You can either click random here, and it'll just go through randomly and pick a one, or you can scroll through over here or over here and just look through all the candidates and pick one yourself. However, I decided to pick my own, so I went ahead and chose this avatar right here, and then put my first name and my last name. And after you filled out all the details and picked your avatar, just come down here and click continue. After you picked your candidate, of course you have to pick your home state, right? So it's the same as picking its appearance. You can come down here and do it randomly, or you can pick one of your own. However, since I am from the state of Kansas, I went ahead and chose Kansas for myself. And once I've done that, I can just come down here and click continue again. Now, after you've picked your candidate in your home state, it's going to take you back to your main profile, and you're just going to want to click on issues. Now, issues are your most important part of your campaign. This is what the voters are going to know that you stand for, what you don't stand for, and really just the changes that you're wanting to make as president. So as you're going through these next couple steps, just really think about what you want to support and what you don't. Your first step is going to be to choose your candidate's political party. So you can either choose Democratic or Republican. And once you do that, then you can really search around and see the different issues that either party may support or not support. First off, we're going to come over here and we're going to click on Democratic, and you can just see that the Democratic Party is older and more liberal in the U.S. To learn more about the Democratic Party issues, you can just simply click on them, and it will give you a brief description. For example, government transparency is that the government should be open and responsive to the needs of its citizens. Or you can click on protection of natural resources, and you can read more about that. So definitely click around and look at the Democratic option. Now, of course, on the other end of the spectrum, you have your Republican Party, and you can see that they're the grand old party, or the GOP, and they're traditionally more conservative than the Democrats. You can definitely do the same thing that you did on the Democratic. Click around and look at the different issues that they support. For example, limited government spending. They just need to spend less, and limit its role in American daily lives. I personally am going to pick Republican. And once I do that, I'll just click on Republican, it'll light up, and I can push continue. Now that I have chosen to run as a Republican, I have to participate in the Republican primary debate. And this is important because if I choose the right answers that correspond with the issues that are presented to me, then the Republicans will pick me to run as their candidate for the whole party. So this part is really crucial just so that I can be chosen and I'm not knocked out of the race before it even starts. Inez just appears here again, and she's telling you that your first debate is in Iowa and that I need to win the party's primary elections before we can run in the national race, which I just mentioned. So I need to take ownership of the issues that are important to myself and the voters, and of course, really read through the options and select the right answers. Now I just have to go through and pick up to 5 issues that I want to support during my presidential campaign. But before I do that, I want to bring your attention down here to the hot issue and the icon. They can be shown up here and right here. I highly recommend that you select those as your issues just because these are most likely what voters in states across the country are going to be looking for. So they're really just common ground when you need to later swing states or gain momentum in other states. So definitely pay attention to those. Since business innovation is one of the hot topic issues, I decided to go with that one first. So this is just the government shouldn't restrict the growth of businesses through tax or regulation. So after I selected that, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say present the issue. And your next screen is just going to be yourself saying, I stand for business innovation. Next, one of your commentators is going to ask you to say why you stand for this, and then that's when you going through and selecting your answers is going to come into play and why it's so important. So you'll see that here on the next slide. As I mentioned, here is where you select why do you support this issue. So you just want to come over here and you want to read once again what business innovation is. And then you want to come over here and just go down and read your options. And really just look at which ones relate mostly to your issue. So as I'm looking at this, the keywords that are really sticking out to me are should not, businesses, and taxes or regulations. So when I come over here, I'm going to say companies need a lot of rules and regulations. Well, that doesn't really fit because you see the should not back here. Companies should not be allowed to grow and blossom, at the government shouldn't stop them. And then your last one is why are we even working with other countries? America needs no one. That one kind of fits, but kind of doesn't. So looking it over, I think I'm going to go with this second one right here. So as you can see here, I just selected the companies should be allowed to grow and blossom and the government shouldn't stop them. And then I'm going to come down here and click answer. After that, it's just simply going to ask me what my action plan. So I'm going to once again click continue, and then I'll have to go and read more options and say what my plan is going to be. So once again, I'm just going to come back over here and refresh on what business innovation is, and then how would I support this issue. So this is different than saying why do I support it. Now this is how I'm going to do it. So we need to live unnecessary regulations on large business and small. Okay, that kind of makes sense. The best plan of action is just to give all of our tax money to new companies and help them succeed. Maybe not. Taxes should be collected twice a year, so it seems like you have to pay less. This is more of just a lowering taxes initiative, so looking at it, I think I'm going to go ahead and click the first one. So now that I've selected my option of we need to lift unnecessary regulations on businesses large and small, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click answer. After you've selected your plan, then the commentator is going to come back and give you a little bit of feedback. He says here, I hadn't thought of that. He can either say, I support the plan, or if you got it incorrect, he'll mostly say, I don't know if that's going to work. However, my issue, why I support it and how I would support it, correlated with each other, so I got that correct. So that'll be a point for me in this debate. So we're just going to go back and we're going to do the same process again. I'm going to go ahead and click right to work because that's another hot topic. You need to click up to 5. So you're just going to go through that same process of clicking one, saying why you support it and how you're going to support it. And like I said, just make sure that you go through and your answers correlate with one another, because the more points you get, the more likely you will be your party's candidate for the presidential election. Okay, so as you can see here, I've gone through and I've clicked right to work and a couple others down here. However, before you pick your final topic, Inez is going to come in and she's going to ask if you want to stick with the Republicans or if you want to break away a little bit and look at the Maverick options. And these options are the same as the Democratic ones. So you'll go ahead and push continue. After you push continue, it's going to take you back to your issue main page. And down here at the bottom, you will see view Maverick options or issues. So once you click that, like I said, it's just going to take you back to the Democratic issue. Here are your Maverick issues, and as I've said numerous times, they're the same as your Democratic ones. So if you look through those and you decide that you want to stick with one, that may help you be a little bit more appealing to Democrats, especially if you're in a swing state or you need to push ahead in a little bit. However, I'm looking over these, and I'm not really sure if I want to go with any Maverick issues. So once you've either selected one or you decide to not select one, you can go back to your party line. So here I am back at my Republican issues page, and if you change your mind, you can definitely go back down and look at the Maverick options again. However, since I decided to stay, I'm going to go ahead and do my Fight Anti-Terrorism Abroad issue, and I'm going to go with that. It's the same steps as before. You're going to click one, you're going to defend why you support the issue, and what your policy on it is. Now, after you have picked all of your issues and hopefully you've gotten all the answers right or majority, your party will elect you to be their candidate. So that's when Inez comes in and tells you that it's now time to prove the party that you have what it takes to win this presidential election. So you'll just push continue, and then we're going to go finish our character profile. Now, we're back at our character profile that we saw before, and one thing that I do want to point out is that you can go back and change these before you continue. So if you want to go back and do the primary debate again, you can. However, if you do that, then you have to go back and do the entire debate, which means you have to go and redefend all your issues, and it can be very time-consuming. You can also change your character's appearance and things like that. However, we're going to move on, and we're going to do the campaign kit. After I've clicked on Campaign Kit, it's going to let me pick my candidate slogan. Now, this is the same as when you're picking your avatar and your home state and things like that. You can either click the random option, where it'll give you something like this, for instance, victory is certain. Or you can go through over here on your two bars right here and click and pick one. As you can see here, I went ahead and just scrolled through and picked mine, and so my slogan is going to be for the win. After you picked your slogan, you can come down here and push continue. After you've picked your slogan, it's now going to take you to your campaign kit. And this is really where you can just kind of get an overview of who your candidate is. So as you can see, I have my name. I'm part of the Republican Party, and I'm a candidate from Kansas. And then you have my avatar right here, and then down here you have all the issues that I support. And you can see here that I support 2 hot topics. Now over here, you will see your personalized campaign kit. So if you want to look at that, you can click View Certificate. This is an up-close view of what your certificate's going to look like. Here it's just going to say what date you played, how long you've been playing, and your supporting statements, how many you have correct and incorrect, and things like that. And then these will keep tally throughout the game as well. And it's the same information, your name, your avatar, party, things like that. And then down here is your issues, and they're written out for you here. Also, it just shows you what your t-shirts are going to look like, your buttons, and also like campaign posters. So here you can see mine is Maggie Dugan for the win, things like that. Once you've looked that over, you can definitely click the back button, and it'll send you back to your campaign page. After I've looked over my campaign kit and I looked it over, I'm going to come down and I'm going to push continue, and then it's going to send me back to this page, and it's going to say, great, your profile is complete, and then you're going to want to come down here and you're going to click Launch Campaign. After you do that, it's going to ask you if you want to do a tutorial, and I know I'm doing a tutorial right now, but I'm going to go ahead and click Yes, Teach Me, just so then you can get the step-by-step with images and everything. So let's go ahead and go and do that. Okay, here on this slide, I've combined 4 different steps into one just to show you what polling will look like. So first, Inez is going to pop up over here, and she's just saying to win the presidential nomination, you have to first win a few key states. And in order to do that, you just have to look over and do some polling. So then you're going to come over here, and you're going to click that box right up here where the gold arrow is. And then you're going to come down here, and she's going to say, let's find out what the Iowa poll looks like. So you're going to come down here, and you're going to click on polling. After you do that, she's going to ask you to select Iowa. And after you've done that, this page will pop up here. And this is just really, you're going to see this page a lot. It's going to give you the state, what color it is. So that's going to tell you if it's Republican, Democratic. And since we're in the primary stages, it's going to, of course, be Republican. And then over here, it's going to show you the issues they support and the issues they oppose. Also, their momentum. So right now, they're about equal. They're not leaning one way or another. They're worth 6 electoral votes. And just remember, you need 270 in order to win the election. And then how much money they can give you for fundraising. Also over here is just a pie chart showing, okay, so 60% of them are Republican, and so the other 40% of them are Democratic. So after you look that over, just come down here and click continue. So the next steps that Inez are going to take you through is by having them just show you the pie chart. and that is right next to show your electoral votes per state. So after you click Iowa, it's just basically going to send you back to this page that we saw earlier. After you poll, then you can always look at the data from that state, like on this page. However, we can't go over and click on Kansas since we haven't polled there. We don't know what that looks like. So first you have to poll in order to get this information. So make sure you do that. Next up, in order to keep your campaign going, you have to have fundraising. So up here, you can see this gold arrow, and if you click on that, it is going to show you dollar signs right here and right here. However, you want to look and see which ones you're going to get the most money from. So in Michigan, I'm going to get $2 compared to the $1 I'm going to get in Iowa. Something to keep in mind, though, you can only fundraise in states that you're leading in the polls. So if a Democrat is leading, say, in Kansas, I can't go raise money there because I'm not the leading candidate. So, however, in Iowa and Michigan, I can, or over here in New Hampshire, too, there's $1 over there, you can go and raise money. Normally, to raise money, you make an appearance at an event, and then they'll give you money for it. Next up, another option is to do an appearance, and this can help sway them in one way or another. And you want to do multiple appearances because that way they can see your face, they get to know you, things like that. So here's what your personal appearance page looks like, and I decided to do mine here in Iowa. So as you can see, it shows the supported issues and then the issues they oppose. So by looking at it, I have 1 and 2 issues that match. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the business side. So once I click that, then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click Make Appearance. So after I've clicked Make Appearance, it's going to send me to the speech I'm going to give. So what is my position on business innovation? And here you can see I've clicked too many rules and regulations slow down business and innovation growth. Keep things simple and support in progress. And after I do that, I'll click it, and then I'll click Give Speech. And then it'll go through this video, and it'll show you giving an appearance in Iowa, and afterwards it's going to give you results. So let's go ahead and look at that results page. So here's your result page, and as I said, it will report how I did. So it says here I was a hit, and then I'm gaining momentum. So here the momentum was about medium, and now I have a momentum of 2. You can get up to a momentum of 3. So this will really work out in my favor now that I did that appearance. So after that, I'll just click continue. Next up is if you want to look at how much momentum you have in a specific state, you can click this button right here, and that's in between your fundraising and your pie chart button. So here you can see in Iowa that I have 2. I have a momentum of 2. However, in New Hampshire, I'm about medium, so I kind of wanted to swing that state my way. So I'd come down here, and I want to do a media push. I want to do a commercial. So I'm going to click Media. So here's what your media campaign page will look like. And here you'll see in New Hampshire, their supported issues and then their opposed issues. Most likely, you're going to want to run a negative campaign against your opponent just to make yourself look better. So here you can see that my opponent would support this issue, but in New Hampshire it's opposed. So I want to do an ad against that. So I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click Run Campaign. The next step will be I have to go through and pick what my commercial is going to say. So since she is for global cooperation, but New Hampshire isn't, I probably want to say something like, McGee thinks we should bully other countries into doing what we want, because that will make my opponent look bad and me look better in my candidate's eyes. So I'm going to click my second option here, and then I'm going to televise my ad. So in between picking what it'll say and this screen that you're looking at right now, the commercial will run, and it'll say exactly what you picked on your media page. So my media campaign was a success. As you can see, the momentum was about neutral, and now New Hampshire's swinging in my direction. So it definitely worked in my favor because now they see my opponent in a worse light. So after that, then I'll just go down here and I'll click continue. So after I went through my media campaign, it's going to take me back to that full electoral map. And Inez is going to come in saying, congrats, you won the Republican primary, so now you are the candidate. So at my Republican Party, it's going to ask me who I want my vice president to be. Now, unfortunately, on this option, you cannot just have it randomly select. You have to go through and click over here or over here and look through all your candidates. Here, I decided to go with someone that is popular with business leaders, just because that is one of my top issues is business innovation. So I thought that really might appeal to voters. So after you do that, you'll just come down here and select VP. After that is done, then my vice president will come out and we'll celebrate. During that time as well, over on the Democratic side, it's going to be doing the same thing. It's going to show you who your opponent is and who they chose as their vice president. So those screens will come up after this one. Okay, so after the Democratic Party mentions its candidate and who the vice president will be, it's going to show you this page. And here you can just see, it kind of gives you a rundown of both parties. So you have the issues that I support, me and my vice president, and then also you can see the Democratic Party side, so what they support over here, the candidate and the vice president, and then you can also see their slogan here. So after that, just push continue. Okay, so here on this page, this will be really your transition page in between each week of your presidential campaign. You have 10 weeks to win the candidacy. As we went through in our tutorial, you'll have to poll, fundraise, do media launches and appearances in order to win the candidacy. So after each week, you'll see this bus again and it'll just push you along the game. Okay, so this page should look pretty familiar. It's the same from the tutorial page that your campaign manager put you through in the beginning. So you can see here it has you, and your opponent, and also how much money you have. The money depends on how many more of these options right here you can do before you have to end your turn. So really go for those bigger states, as you can see here, California, Texas, and other ones that may come along, because those will help you beat your opponent, because the more appearances, media launches, things like that you do, the more likely you're going to win. So also over here, it shows how many weeks left. So here you can see we have 10 weeks left. All of this is the same, though. You can see, though, that they added some more states. So you can see I'm polling well in Texas, Idaho, South Dakota, things like that, and then also which states my opponent is winning at the moment. This will really become beneficial because you're going to want to look at the momentum for each state, because say King has a momentum of 1 in, say, Iowa. Well, I can easily go and do an appearance and sway them the other way. So then after my turn, the electoral votes will swing my way. So then I can reach that 270. So what I'll do right now is I'll just run you through one typical turn, and then after that, you'll just repeat those steps, and hopefully you win the candidacy. So let's go ahead and move forward and go through our next turn. So I'm looking here, and I really need money first, right? And as you can see, I'm polling well here in Texas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click fundraising, and then I'm going to click Texas. So after I click on Texas, it's going to put me on a plane and put me down in Texas, and I'm going to do this appearance, and then I'm going to, as you can see here, I'm going to get 3 coins. And after a while, you don't even have to watch this video. You can definitely click skip right here. But after that, then it's just going to take you right back to your map, and then your opponent's going to go and do the same thing because they need money as well to continue their campaign. After each time you do something, then your opponent has a turn to do something. So it's kind of a waiting game at the same time. Okay, so after I fundraise, it's going to send me back to this main page, as I said. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my pie chart button right here, just so that I can kind of see which states I'm kind of halfway at, and I can sway a little bit my way. I'm thinking I want to do a media push, so I'm going to push media. As I'm looking at media, I'm like, you know what, California, I'm about half and half right there. So if I do a media push, I can easily win the state. So what it's going to do, it's going to send me to that same page that we saw earlier in the tutorial, and it's going to show you what you support and what your opponent does. And I can see here that, you know, we support a lot of the same things. However, my opponent doesn't support any of their opposed items. So I'm going to have to go with a media push in my favor. So you know what? I'm going to do the business innovation. So I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to click Run Campaign. Once again, it's going to ask me what message do I want to send. So you know what? Lower taxes. That's the way I want to go. So I'm going to click the option, citizens know how to spend their money than the government's. Lower taxes. You know what? Pretty goes hand in hand together. So then I'm going to push televise ad. After I do that, it's going to go through the same video of it's going to show the commercial that went out in California and exactly the words I picked and everything. And then it's going to show the end results from the reporters. And I'll show that here in a second. All right, so now the reporters have come in and they say, you know what, I'm doing really well in California. At first they were neutral, and now they're swinging in my direction. So you know what, I'm taking that as a really good sign. I did well this turn, so I'm going to push continue. And after that, then King is going to come in and she's going to do some polling. Probably, I think that's what she does in my version. After her turn, then it'll be mine again, and so I'll show you my next steps here. Things like that. Okay, so I have $1 left, and so then that means I have enough money to do an appearance. Just in case you were wondering, King came in, she polled Florida, and she showed that we were about half and half. And you know, Florida has 29 electoral votes, so I want to go after that state because that's really going to help me here in the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to click appearance, and then I'm going to click on Florida, and that's going to send me to Florida, and the page will pop up where it's going to show what they oppose and what they support, and then I'm going to be able to look and see what I want my appearance to be about. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now that I decided to do an appearance in Florida, it's going to show me this page right here. Sorry that this one's kind of blocking it a little bit. So I can see here that, you know, we support some of the same issues. However, my opponent supports voting rights, and Florida opposes that. So I'm going to use that to my advantage in my appearance here. So I'm going to go ahead and click voting rights and then make an appearance. Then it's going to send me to this page right here. And that's where I'm going to look, and I'm going to say, if Democrats get their way, voting fraud will hit an all-time high. And, you know, that's not talking very well about my opponent, so I'm going to use that to my advantage. So we're going to push give speech. What it's going to do next, it's going to go through and give you the video and show you giving your speech, and then we'll get the end results. So let's take a look at those. Okay, so after doing my media commercial in Florida, you can see that I changed my momentum from about a neutral to up to 2, which will really work out here in my next turn. So after this, it's going to put me back on the main map, and King's going to have her turn. After King has her turn, it will conclude week 10, and after that, your bus with your campaign slogan is going to pop back up, and you're going to roll into week 9. Just complete the steps that we talked about throughout this tutorial throughout. Think about it thoroughly. Make sure your answers are lining up. And either you can make it all the way to week 10, or whoever gets to 270 electoral votes first wins. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the end result of the game really quick. So as you can see here, I ended up winning with 305 electoral votes. In this game, I went throughout the entire 10 weeks. It was really competitive between my opponent and I. So at the end, Inez is going to come back, and she's going to say, congrats, you did it, you won the election, and things like that. So now it's time to take on my role as President of the United States. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push continue. After I do that, it's going to just take me to this page, and it's going to say, congrats, you won the election. It's going to show me how many electoral votes I had, the states I flipped, and my battleground states. And then once again, it's going to show me my issues. Now, here are your 2 options. You can either view your certificate. This is the same certificate that you got at the beginning of your election, but it's going to have a lot more updated information. So I highly recommend you check that out. Or you can just simply click main menu, and it'll take you back to the main menu where you can either start a new game or just exit out and all of that. So let's take a look at the certificate real quick. So here's the certificate, and like I said, there's a lot more updated information. Now it has you and your opponent, and it shows how long you played. So I played for a little over an hour, my impact points, and the date I played. Also, it shows the battleground states. So you can see that we were really fighting over Ohio and Missouri a little bit, and also the states I flipped. So like Missouri, Texas, things like that. Also, it shows how many electoral votes I have, the persuasiveness, the funds I raised, and my fundraising efficiency. So I had about a 90% efficiency, which isn't too bad. And then once again, it shows me my issues. So once I take a look over that, I can click back, and it's going to send me back to that main page. So here's the main page that I was talking about, and it once again just gives you a recap. And once you're done looking at your certificate, you can go back and you can click your main menu. The main menu is the same one, and you can either play another game or you can exit out. All right, so here's your main menu, and like I said, you can either push continue or new game or things like that. But that concludes my tutorial over Win the White House. I really hope you guys download the app and everything. It's really fun. Like I said earlier, kids can really benefit from this, and it's something fun and interactive and engaging for them to do. So anyways, like I said, hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you guys later.